Think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How's everybody doing out there? Man, what's good with your AC?
What's good, man? What's good? Today's just a great day. Little personal stuff yesterday, but it's a great bounce back. Everybody healthy, everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's a quiet house today because everybody but me, for some reason, is knocked out on a late day nap type shit. So I can't call it.
That's what's up. I'm glad to hear everything good. Cookie Monster say, mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding crystal clear. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, it was a good day for me. I got to do a little bit of catching up and trying to read the tea leaves and stay off the beaten path, man. I think I'm at my limit of, hearing the outrageous things. So I've been picking and choosing what I'm trying to listen to, man. Just protecting my broker, man. It's amazing to me that we got, man, a whole lot of big implication fights coming up. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody's caught up, and I'm not gonna steal the thunder on the housekeeping because that's like the last one, but that's a topic that is it's just one thing after another, man, and everybody want to stay on that. I'm past that. We try to be solution oriented, so I'm just happy that my man Gary Antuanne Russell, that's the last person you hear, you know what I'm saying, as far as the boxers go in the intro, man. The goal is to collect all of the titles, all of the belts. Like, to him, they matter. That's what he want to do. Like, and I'm just glad that major media is starting to put him in the spotlight. He been part of the role. He's one of them guys that I've watched damn near the whole time. Like, wondering why he wouldn't get a shot. People was declaring he was the boogeyman. He didn't stop everybody, but 2 people survived. One he lost, by decision of Puello, and of course Ryu made the distance. Everybody else, they didn't make it. Those are the things. He's an exciting fighter, a pressure fighter. A lot of people are they normally weaponize Gary, but it's good to see him in the light, see how he handled it. He got his little style that he do. He's different, eccentric, the way he be dressing or looking or whatever. To me, I'm from this area, but a little eccentric, but He got his own style. He has an identity. You know, he was valedictorian. Like, he's one of the smartest individuals. You know, he was. You know, it speaks for itself. And for him to be what I call the butcher in my boxers to watch, the butcher coming, you know, says relentless pressure. You're not going to have space, time, and distance. Not going to be able to think. We're going to put you in that pressure cookie. We're going to go to that body. And then he got Mr. Gary Russell in his corner, who probably some of the fastest hands people who have ever witnessed. You know, in the legendary 300, what was 6 years, 352 days, he reigned at 126. A lot of people stood up and threw there past him, but he's still active. He said he getting ready to get active. And I'm just glad that there's a sliver. There's a sliver of light. You know, I heard Tim Bradley, man. I ain't even want to look at it, man. I'm like, Tim. Guess you selective with them champions. You know, it's just, I'm just glad that Gary Antuanne is handling the spotlight the way he is. He's smart in what he's saying. And his plans haven't changed, even though those belts have, you know, it's been like pop, with T.O. being the last one. Them belts been popping out and popping back on. And so maybe we get some things settled, and next week he got some things settled, and that's the meat and potatoes of the show. And I'm just glad, man. I think he should get more attention. The Russell should get more attention, you know, even for all of the lack that Mr. Gary Russell didn't get, because they used to always say, oh, he only fight once a year and this and this. So they tried to bring that, they trying to push that on to Gary Antuanne. I know my man Tito Mercado, he be slighting him, throwing that on him, but you know, I don't know if that's to try to poke the bear or try to get the fight. You know, he's trying everything. I don't blame him. He's saying, you know, he being respectful, but at the same time he talking his noise. So you know, Gary Antuanne, everybody know who he is. Everybody want to see him more active. He has a big tall task ahead of us, and we're going to get into what we thought of what we heard earlier when none other than the ring. Because I'll be asking the magic question: Are they making American boxing great again? You know, I mean, not like but making boxing great and all that. American boxing, our own self, you know, our selfish interests. You know, if you could say that in this niche market where we're starving for stars and champions, that's Gary Antuanne. He's getting the spotlight, and it's a long time coming. So that's going to be the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. And I'm going to get into the housekeeping. Yeah, they sleep on Gary. I've been peeping that since he was on Broner head. Yeah, they always chasing Broner. Salute, Honeybee. What's going on? You say salute, Bodywork, salute. But yeah, so that's the meat and potatoes of everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into the housekeeping, and then we'll slide on into the main course. 1. Devin might be one and done at 47. Zab Judah, Devin's goddad, godfather. Yeah. That's who said that. I found that statement very interesting. Because I asked myself, man, now I gave Devin some credit for picking Brian Norman. I gave him even more credit for knocking Brian Norman down. I gave him more credit for having my man Brian Norman put his hands in his pocket somewhat and getting out of there like that. And then he made me eat crow. Because I thought it was over. You know what I'm saying? I did not see that coming. That was one of the biggest upsets. I mean, in my eyes, it wasn't an upset, but in my eyes, the way I see it, I thought it was. And in hindsight, you learn. You know what I'm saying? You learn. But I kind of backed off of him a little bit. He has some things recently where I still seen where people didn't keep the same energy on reporting on. If you report on drama on a regular basis, not too many people really reported on that drama the way they report on other things that they deem to be drama. Even if it's not validated yet, they'll report on those things, but validated things to where they say this man had a charge. Didn't really hear much about that. And I said, I ain't gonna go in, man. But I've been looking at something and I've been watching like a pattern with Dev, even when he was down at 135. It's almost like they got a plan. I mean, if strategy isn't if you don't think strategy is part of their plan, like how they move, then it definitely is. That's all these boxers are doing. And I think if you study his moves, Devin and Bill's moves, you'll see that they are very strategic. They are very strategic in their opponent selection. They're very strategic on the timing. But I always find it interesting that when I use how people, view Devin and what they want from Devin and DHP, when I view it, they always throw out some weird name and then I break it down. I go, okay, cool, let me analyze this. Well, the Haney voice had throughout Errol Spence. And at the time I was just like, hold on, man. Like, come on, man. I mean, we know he loved them Cougars, but come on, man. Like, so Alpha and that's okay. But when Earl come up, it's like, come on, man. He been off. It's like he can't fight. But that was going to be, and they said that was going to be a passing of the torch. I found that real odd. But if you do some body work, like this is the body work, that's all the stuff that's upstairs. My whole thing is all I heard was I'm willing to go to 154. Because at a bare minimum, we know it's going to be 154. But if his fans put him out there and say that, okay, Earl, and they accept that, then I committed to say, okay, well, we got to look at him under the light of he'll be willing to go to 154. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, well, hold on, man. Boots and that whole Virgil thing was, going all along. Devin, he pound for pound and all that, what people be saying. So why wouldn't Devin be looking at Boots? Because I always knew they would never share the same division, but I found it odd. And here we go again here recently where they said something about Xander. And then Bill came on and was like, this man, they said he was food. Don't knock me. Don't shoot the messenger. Bill said that Xander Zayas is food. So I was like, okay, so is it selective? Because that opened up a whole thing like Jamel Charlo needs some work. You love them Cougars, right? Because you would never, it was never going to be a conversation when you and Bud, but at 54, so it just opened up a whole lot of things. So to hear Zab Judah say Devin might be one and done, because I'm like, hold on, what happened with the Keyshawn talk? And just like I said, remember when Devin and Brian Norman Jr., right before they was fighting, Richards and Hitchens popped out of nowhere and was like, yeah, I want next. I got next. Now, mind you, when he stopped Cambosis, he had T.O. in the ring, and then he said F the Haney's because they came to his event, his weigh-in. Like, they came into that old press conference thing, and we was like, why is Bill there? Because aren't they going to 47 and what? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool. So he had T.O. in the ring, and then he said F the Haney's. And then when Devin did what he did to Brian Norman, of course, if I believe, in my heart of hearts, if it was Brian Norman, we would have been looking at a Brian Norman and Richards and Hitchens. It just happened to be Devin. I was like, where's the pressure? It was no pressure. But all the pressure be on Richards and Hitchens when he ain't, most of the time, he ain't the A side to nobody, but he got all the pressure to make the fights and he ducking everybody. But he could say, I got next, and everybody entertained it before the fight. And then after the fight, crickets. So I'm thinking, okay, well, you need work. Because at first it was Rolly. And then we heard what? Lewis Crocker. Then we heard what? Pacquiao. And then I think maybe it might have been a sliver of a Conor Ben, but that's weird. But we heard Lewis Crocker. We heard Eddie say, not like basically Devin, blah, blah, blah. So he out of work. He looking for work. I want to give him credit because he had, he reached down in his pantalones and found out he had some cojones and he jumped up there and did what he did to Brian Norman. I was shocked. But with Zab Judah, and this is why I be trying to say, like, I be wanting to respect these guys because, man, I used to like Zab Judah, man. So I look at him in that vein. I don't really listen to him that much in this vein because when they bias and they say whatever, it's just their position to be able to say whatever. And it's like, okay, that's almost like nepotism or whatever. You working on the job in this family, you not going to get the real spill unless you somebody that's sitting down at the table. So I try to eat the fish and spit out the bones, but I found it very interesting that Zab Judah say that Dev, Might be. He said he might be one and done at 47. I don't know. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, that might dash. Well, you know, I think Keyshawn had a plan to go after Lewis Crocker. And I think if you read between the lines, he probably gonna go ahead and get Lewis Crocker because he probably ain't gonna fight Shakur as the WBO contender. I'm like, we can't even ask. Don't ask. You know what I'm saying? We over that. So no Devin Haney, all that. I'm about to stop Jermaine. He did stop Jermaine Bodywork. And then I'm about to go get Devin. We probably ain't gonna see that. We probably gonna see Keyshawn. I don't know. Because it looked like Shakur might have slipped up and said that he gonna fight Devin Haney. So it's up in the air, but if they say one and done, I don't know. Like, I would have had to follow up a question with Zab Julia. If that was me asking the question, I would have been like, what you mean? Like one more and done, or what he did, he already done, and then he skedaddled? Because remember, when they were down there at 35 that year, they said that there would be no other champion at 35. And then guess what? They jumped up in Fort Regis. And I called it out. I said, hold on, you said there would be no other champion. Because remember, Shakur got in the ring and all that. That was right after, I think that was right after Devin alone, I believe. So, yeah. That was that night when he had that funny looking Dennis Rodman shirt with the suspect, like, I digress. But yeah, that night when he got in the ring with Devin, he got out of there. They said, but then I was listening to Church. That's why I used to like listening to Church, because Church said, nope. He says he was doing his little rhyming shit, and he went up there. He said that Devin's going to be going to 40, and I was like, oh, so who do we listen to? Do we listen to Bill or do we listen to Church? Guess who was right? Church was right, and they moved up. So my follow-up question to Zab, man, you know what I'm saying, is was he one and done, meaning that fight he had with Brian Norman, he just going to jump, or they know something? Because those are turkey. I guess you're going to assume that Keyshawn and Dev is turkey guys. Do they got something going on, and that's going to be the one and done, and then he going? But that's very interesting. That's very interesting, y'all. That's what I wanted to put down. Number two, did Ryan hit the wall? Now, salute Aaron Jones, part of the 300. Salute. The type of fighter Zab is, he know damn well he know better to be calling. Yeah, man. That's why I try not. Look, man. If it was just look at it like, hold on, man. That's his godson, and just look at what he says. Like, hold on. Whenever he talk about Devin, he talking about his godson. So you got to look at it in that vein. If you look at it under that vein, and not just from like a pure fan or you know what I'm saying, a boxing head or whatever you want to look at it, just look at it from that perspective, and that'll help you not get your blood pressure all high. Remember, I told y'all, this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. You know what I'm saying? Fact-based, not opinion-based. But did Ryan hit the wall? And I asked that because here recently, you know, we looked at T.O., and we knew that he's a roller coaster fighter. But now I'm starting to see people slowly merge into this conversation about Ryan, saying that he's a roller coaster fighter too. And I'm like, I can't say that. And I'm gonna explain why. I can't say he up and down because one, I don't discredit the win. I don't discredit Tank stopping him to the body. I don't discredit that. You know what I'm saying? He did that body work on Ryan. Ryan was in there, you know what I'm saying, throwing and got, you know what I'm saying, he got there admiring his work and got a little, you know, because Tank will give you that false sense of confidence. And you done hit him. He hit Tank. And Tank was like on him, like they had got tangled up, but he hit Tank one time, and Tank, you know what I'm saying, was on him like he got in a good one on Tank, and so he had that false sense of confidence. He got put down. I don't discount that. I like the way Ryan came in there. Listen, if T.O. would have came on like that with Shakur, shit, we would have got more action. But shit, I respect Ryan in that sense. We cannot unsee what happened on 420 2 years ago. We can't unsee it. We can't unsee it. Even though it's been wiped from the record, we can't unsee it. So, hey, he was a C+ fighter. It's levels, all that. We can't unsee it. Even though we got to blame the Oscar ring. Because that O will make you a star. Know what I mean? According to everybody else, all I seen was left hooks, right hands. You know what I'm saying? I seen all of that. So we seen that performance. We seen when he going to that taco shell against Oscar Duarte, then, you know what I'm saying, his coach slap him back together and say, listen, kid, you're blowing it. We seen him go in there and then put that bullwhip of a hook on Duarte and make Duarte say, well, I don't want no more. We seen that. You know what I'm saying? We seen him against Javier Fortuna. We seen him against Romero Duno. He got sat down, he got back up, and boom. You know what I'm saying? Stop that, man. Like, we've seen, I've seen, like, I don't look at him like an up and down fighter. I don't. Even though the way I look at it is this. It was devastating for Ryan because in his heart of hearts, he said he didn't cheat. Well, I'm not going to go into all of that. You know what I'm saying? When we go into the levels and what's comparable to contamination and all that, because with some fighters, they get away with that. The Alicia Baumgartners, they get away with that. You know what I'm saying? The Conor Benns, they get away with that. The Ryans, they, you know, some real, you know, people pick and choose how they want to view that. Let's put that to the side. They were 3-3 in the amateur, so the likelihood that Ryan could win, it's a 50-50 chance. After the fight, Devin said, yeah, did the left hook surprise me? Yeah, it kind of surprised me. I was like, say what? But we saw that. It was devastating for Ryan to get that loss taken because why? That was game 7. He came through with the Cobra clutch. So I saw that performance. So when you get that removed and then you don't want to pay no legal fees and all that because no matter what, they was going to render a judgment and you was going to be out. So you figure, okay, I'm going to be out. He was out for a year. He don't get the credit. He got to run around with everybody calling him a cheater, all of this and this and that. And I'm not, y'all already know. I wanted Tank to stop Ryan ever since he got up there on Mike Tyson podcast talking about God told him he was going to knock Tank out in the first round and all this. I said, see, now you're lying on the man. Okay. I digress. I wanted that. So, but I appreciate what Ryan, I say if Ryan was focused, disciplined, dedicated to the sport, he would be very dangerous. Very dangerous. But we seen all these performances, and then he came out flat against Rolly. That was my upset of the year. A lot of people crowned it, they gave him the award or whatever. But if you find it where somebody posted it before it was said on this channel, let me know. You know what I'm saying? So it was devastating for him. He came out flat against Rolly. He didn't perform. I'm not gonna call him a roller coaster fighter. How can I call him a roller coaster fighter? Because he lost the Tank. People discredit that. You know what I'm saying? He spanked Devin and then he fell flat against Rolly. Now, when they all gotta mix it up, there's going to be variables to this story. I.e., like what you seen Shakur do to T.O., that don't mean that's gonna happen with that. Don't mean it's gonna be the same fight between Tank and Shakur or Tank and T.O. So we're gonna see that. But what I'm asking is, because he's like the Conor Ben, you know what I'm saying? Him and Conor Ben are like twins, you know what I'm saying? The fact that they're big names, they represent big money. For some reason, they keep getting these big bags, I guess because of their style. You know, they're mainly their fan base, their following. Conor Ben got that across the pond following. Ryan, for the years, he had that pretty boy teeny bopper thing going on or whatever. And so they keep wanting underwear model, all of that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? He like Oscar De La Hoya without all the accolades and, you know what I'm saying, not really getting off there. He done fought some people. But he got a following in that sense, and that's how they are. They never had a title, you know what I'm saying, challenge, you know, never had a title, never really like no accolades or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think Ryan had one of them secondary, I think he had one of them secondary drinks one time. Don't get me twisted. But what I'm asking is, at this point in time, because Mario Barrios always say he like a villain in the strumpet, you know what I'm saying? He just getting passed around, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm tired of this. Put your foot down, Mario. But he getting that bag. So I'm like, if Ryan don't win, because he said it's his burial or his resurrection, and he believes it's going to be his resurrection. If Ryan don't win, would that mean he'll be hitting the wall? Could you see Ryan Garcia as a gatekeeper, or will he still keep getting the bag until somebody else spark him, or he sparks somebody else, or, you know, or the Devin fight or whatever? So I'm asking, did he hit the wall like right now? Because everybody else is in their prime, they getting their accolades, they moving up, they grabbing the bull by the horns. Ryan getting that bread, he getting big name fights, but did he hit a wall? That's the second one. And salute to Melazar. Salute to Melazar. I'm just going through the housekeeping, Melazar. Just bear with me, man. Let me get through this so we can have a good cook on everything, man. I gotta do this. Salute, Frontline. Understood, left man. He basically look at him like his fam living the dream. Yeah. That's like if somebody asks me about my son or something, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be real, but that's my son, but that's his godson. So I look at it like that. Don't play games when you don't know the rules. Listen, a lot of y'all out here playing games and y'all don't care to know the rules. It's just like if I were to go up, right? Let's just say I was to invite AC and his lady over, and it's me and my lady, and we chilling, we waiting to go somewhere and do something. I'm like, shit, we got a little time to kill, man. Y'all want to bust out some spades or whatever? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, probably the first thing he's gonna ask is, okay, all right, now look, I done played all different ways. What's the house rules? Like
that's the first question. What's the house rules?
That's right. What's the house? Because in some houses it's like ace. It's the ace of spade on down. Some people play joker, deuce. I seen people play joker, deuce, where they put the two of diamond in there. I don't care. Yeah. I'm gonna wax that. I seen people. I grew up playing with the kitty. You know what I'm saying? We had a kitty. I didn't play. I was in the army. That's what we used to do out in the field. When we ain't had nothing to do, we would play dominoes or spades. You know. So I just want to know what the fuck are the rules. So a lot of y'all want to play these games out here online. Y'all want to talk about stuff. I seen Mauricio Suleiman totally obliterate that whole Shakur Stevenson situation. Obliterated it. He like Chris Mannix all in feud and in passion and like this, and it trickles down. It trickles down because people in YouTube, they be doing the same thing. They be caught up in their emotions and they don't even think. Like, did you sit down for like 10 minutes and look at the rules?
No, you're right on that. But you know what? Maurice is a guy, Marcos Celis, but he do it in Spanish, right? So he have all the tax returns from the WBC. And then it's a problem because the money that he said that he used for the boxers, you know, from the fees, in 16 years, he only spent $2.5 million in like, from all the fees that he recollected in 16 years, he only used in helping the boxers or whatever, only 2.5. So where is the rest of the money? What you did with the rest of the freaking fee money that you took from the boxers and you was saying that you was using it for that because you are a non-profit? It's a bunch of stuff that he pulled out, but it's in Spanish, you know, like he needs to translate and that's that cool. In English.
But see that, you know, okay, so that speaks to corruption.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, see, this is a broad thing. This is not a case by case. This is not just when it comes down to the sanctioned body. This comes down to like knowing how the IBF operate, like knowing how the WBO operate, knowing how like comprehensive, because that's one, and there's always flies in the ointment. But what I'm saying is, when you want to be empowered with a conversation, you want to be armored with the rules. Because I always do this whenever I play somebody. Just like the first time somebody taught me how to play chess, the first game we played, after I learned, I said, okay, I understand, let's play. I beat him. But what offends me is when I go places, right, and they say, all right, cool, this and this. I'm like, all right, anything else? Then I get to doing this, like, oh, nah, over here. Nah, I don't mean not for want to hear nothing. I ask you the rules. Like, so it's rules to all of these things. It's rules to how business go. It's rules to how the sanctioned bodies go. It's rules to how, you know, because the New York State Athletic Commission, like there are like, just like the PED thing with Ryan, it's a different one with Ryan versus, but there are rules. Like people be impassioned to talk, and we love talking like for 8 or 9 hours or 3 or 5 hours, but take time to know the rules before you do that, because all you're doing is working yourself up, getting your blood pressure high. We understand about corruption. We understand like all of these people, they bribery, you know, even how people rise in the rankings. We understand that.
It's like each organization got their own rules. And if you're not going to pay me a fee that you're going to represent my organization, you're going to fight for another organization and you're going to pay them their fees So why you want to keep my title in other division and keep it tank? You know, like nobody gonna fight for a title because you're holding it when you are in another division, defending other title from other organization. So fuck, give me my title, and I put other two guys to fight for it. That's it. What you make, but you know, people get really passionate and get really emotional. You know, because it's their favorite fighter. I don't. So fuck.
What you think about AC? What you thinking, AC?
Well, basically, I'm staying where I was in the beginning, to whereas to the beginning of all of this stuff. We had one conversation that led to a debate, and that debate was about something totally different. Just to give backstory, that debate was me and Malazar's debate on the Muhammad Ali Act. Fortunately, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on in boxing within that time frame and stuff like that. So it just caused me to constantly do more research, go and dig a little bit deeper and find out each organization, what are they? Are they all the same in the fact that they're all nonprofits? Yes. So with that being said, each nonprofit has its own bylaws, but they are still bound by the Ali Act. So their bylaws can't supersede any portion of the Ali Act. So if you know this, then you automatically know, okay, this guy over here is doing bad business. So if you're pissed off at him, be pissed off at be pissed off with Shakur for doing bad business, and be pissed off with the WBC with their inconsistencies on how they apply these rules. And at the end of the day, there's only so much you can be pissed off with the WBC, and then now everybody's trying to find corruption. Well, within your taxes, there are numbers that actually show what you spent on business. And that any good business, whether you're a nonprofit or anything, there are a 501c3 is a nonprofit that allows to be profitable. A 501c26 or 25 doesn't, well, it allows the thing to be profitable just to maintain their operating costs, but you can take direct donations. So there's a cap on what you can do and what you can't do. So once you understand what each one is like, even though one is a nonprofit, they still operate in a for-profit manner. So when you operate in that for-profit manner, you got tons of shit that's actually tax deductible just from doing business. And then you apply your tax exemptions, bro, it's gonna be, your books is gonna look completely one different way unless there's an actual CPA who can actually break that shit down and say, all right, this number represents this number represents that. So,
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, where I'm at with it is these sanctioning bodies are under attack. Rightfully so? No, because everybody's missing the part of where you should be outraged, and it's the inconsistency of where they do things. Some guys like David Benavidez just came out and said, "Nah, I ain't got no problem," because he understands the game. I have to pay to play, and each time I fight, they're gonna give me fees. So whether I want to pay them or not, it doesn't fucking matter. Every time I fight, that's the way this shit go. It's not like NBA or hockey or other things that is set on a schedule. So once you're not set on a schedule, these are like events. To whereas they have to book the venue, and then once they got the venue and the sanctioning bodies okay the approval on the state level, then they got to put all of that together and then present it at the federal level, and that's where the sanctioning bodies come in. So you need them. I don't want to. I'm really good on saying we should change it, but at the end of the day, it's been working for hundreds of years. You need them to go and say, listen, if you're going to apply your rules, we need another mechanism, at least from the federal government, to say, yeah, this is where we monitor them besides the FTC and the ABC. And that's it.
And then don't tell me that the titles don't matter after you fought to get all the titles. Yeah, now
Right.
after you won them, they don't matter. So why you was fighting for them? Why you the only fights that you did was for titles?
Yeah,
If the titles don't matter that much, why you only fought for titles?
and let me piggyback off of that, and that's where I'll close the book on this whole topic. In the restaurant business, you got these chefs that spend $2, $3, $5, $10 million on a restaurant. To spend $1 million on a restaurant, that's a lot of fucking money, especially when you're talking about a space that's only 40 seats.
Yeah.
So you that's a lot of fucking money to go to $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million for the same amount of seats, and then say we spent that kind of money, but we never had Michelin in mind. Shut all the way the fuck up, because you don't spend $1 million on some shit when you don't when not getting the accolades or the awards is not part of the agenda. You feel what I'm saying? Fighters don't spend millions of dollars on training camps if they're not going in there to fucking win and become champion. It's just where you place your money, and where you place your money and the amount of money tells you your intent. So for me, when I look at restaurants and you look at them and I'm like, yo, that kitchen is crazy. State-of-the-art island stove, everything completely electric, got the best pans in the world, that a fucking little saute pan, 8-inch saute pan is like $400. And then you're gonna tell me you did this with not the goal to be Michelin. We just wanted to create food that we enjoyed. Man, shut the fuck up.
The star don't matter.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's why I hate when boxers now are talking. Yeah. What are the sanctions? If you know what the fuck they for, if you have a problem, call out the fact that the sanctioning bodies are very inconsistent in what they do. If you got a problem with the WBC, then call out the WBC's inconsistencies and every other sanctioning bodies inconsistencies when it comes down to certain things. But then again, you may not be able to do it because all you gotta fucking do is look at the rules.
Yeah, or fight by the IBF. Why don't fight under the IBF? Why you don't want to fight under the IBF?
So if the rules say you got six months to make a fight, or by the 9th month we're going to mandate some shit. If it's a big fight and you can't get it done in 9 months, then this is how the shit goes. If they tell you, look, we altered our thing, we put in a petition at a certain level, but within our own rights as the sanctioning body, we can create a whole new belt. And WBC created a belt so Canelo could do what the fuck he want to do. So don't bring up the example while other fighters, can fight years without. Well, we all know, number one, unifications trump mandatories. Number two, if a sanctioning body, you've been a representative for mad years, you have crazy title defenses under that sanctioning body, like a Terrence Crawford with the WBO, where the WBO came out and made a statement. Listen, we don't give a fuck what Terrence Crawford want to do. From 140 to all the way to 168. We go
our champion.
And then they showed you what it was when they cock blocked Sebastian Fundora.
They give in a ring and everything.
For his legal involuntary fight that he wanted to put on with Errol Spence. Whether that fight was going to happen or not, whether it was politics, whatever the fuck it was, but he had the right because he just did something with Tim Tszyu, so he earned that right to choose his next fighter. WBO said, yeah, you got that right, but check this out. That dude over there been our champion since he was at 135 pounds. He's basically got 19 title defenses of our belt. Bro, we love you, but tenure matters right now. So then you could say, yeah, that was a bit outrageous that they stole that fight from Sebastian Fundora because Terrence Crawford was their golden child.
Yeah,
you can come out and say shit like that. But other things like that, it's like, bro, you miss me.
like if Terence Crawford tell me like, Meta, I'm not gonna pay that money to the WBC because my organization is the WBO and I prefer to stay with the I don't care about you, WBC. Okay, but don't tell me the freaking titles don't matter and bring me the freaking Ring Magazine title. You know, like, oh, this one don't ask me for money. The Ring, I give a damn about the freaking Magazine title, but don't tell me the titles don't matter. It's better you tell me, no, my organization is the WBO and I fuck with them. I don't fuck with you. If you don't want what I offer you, fuck it. Okay, I take it better. But don't tell me they don't matter.
But look, this the thing though. This what saddens me. The fact that people are getting all bent out of shape, right? And it comes down to the same thing we said when people got bent out of shape about the Brian Norman and the Boots thing, where it was a window where some had to be submitted and some money had to be paid, and it came down to paperwork. Yep. Like, my understanding, all of this from what Mauricio Suleiman said they was gonna make a special belt. They had slashed the fee. It wasn't even gonna be. They said they had leverage. They had leniency to be able to do it. They was gonna slash the fee, make a special belt, you know, and all it was paperwork. They didn't file the paperwork. He said, man, we waited for several weeks. We was, you know, because you gotta think about this. It's kind of weird. Like, now we thinking about it. Like, was it just TO or was it the WBO? Because who else had the relationship with the WBO?
Oh,
so with all that going on, it's like, you want me to hold your spot over here at the Mosey Wozy. Yeah, you paid up for the week, but you want me to hold this spot where I can rent it out and have somebody else in this spot for a week while you go over there. You like, all right, I'm just gonna go over here. I'm gonna stay over there. I'm gonna go see if I could get this room over here. But like, no, it don't work like that, y'all.
No,
it was just paper, and they was gonna work with you. Why? Because if the powers that be want you to be the next star, they know them persons gonna come, and they're gonna go up, and they're gonna work with you. He even talked about how, like, when certain people make the same example I gave, basically. Like, I'm not gonna go over well for new people. When I said it should be a schedule, after you make a certain amount, it should be a schedule. He didn't use the same verbiage, but he even talked about that. So this thing came down to paperwork, and y'all getting bent out of shape when he had an opportunity. The man is on record saying he was gonna make a special belt. It was under their special events thing, and he slashed the fee. It wasn't even so.
But for who was that? For
Shakur.
Yeah,
Shakur,
but
that's why
I can understand Shakur now be with the WBO because it's a Puerto Rican-based company. You know, it's an organization over there. But so don't try the WBC because Crawford is doing it, because Crawford is 40 years old.
No. Let's park a lot. Let me say this. We can't have it both ways, is what I've been trying to say. So how can you be outraged because if you was gonna go back to the WBC, I'm gonna keep bringing this up. You're gonna go back to the WBC, they was gonna mandate that you fight O'Shaquie. They just gave that dude Lester Martinez the shot for the interim at 168 already, the WBC. I'm like, where's all the videos about this so far? Like, I know it just broke, the news just claimed that that's what it was gonna be. But like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you said, no, I'm not gonna fight O'Shaquie. You didn't put in the paperwork. They slashed your fee. You said, all right, well, I'm not gonna pay the fee, whatever, and I'm gonna go to WO, right? Okay, so what are you crying for?
But here's the thing. The crazy part is they put that, or would have put that, at the end of the year when they filed their 990 to say, yeah, we introducing a new belt. We're going to hand this new belt to Shakur Stevenson. That's within their right, because that fight happened on the day they have to turn in all of this other stuff. So they was probably trying to negotiate with that dude way beforehand. Like, look, here's the deal. We can do this for you. We're going to, this is the fee. We're going to give you the belt, blah, 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 blah. Here's where I always been saying that he's going to take and carry the torch that Terence Crawford already built. Because at the end of the day, if that's Big Bro gonna tell you what belt allows you the most maneuverability. And if you defend a belt and you rocking with me, they gonna give you a lot of leeway to do what you want to do and make the best deals with you as far as the sanctioning fees. And that's the WBO, because without the WBO, Crawford's career would have been shaky at best.
Yep.
He wouldn't have got half of the fights that he got, but he was smart enough to go after the WBO, and every time he moved up in the lineage of the WBO.
Yeah.
They
because
gave
WBC
him the okay.
don't want Crawford as a champion. I
don't.
understand why Crawford did what he did.
You're not the money man. You're not a Canelo Alvarez. The
Exactly.
WBC understands that. Listen, our biggest strength is when we have Mexican or Latin champions. We're a Latin-based company. Yes, we're in Mexico, but we understand that being in Mexico City and having a Mexican fan, they're never going to question what we do because it's all for Mexico. You feel what I'm saying? It's all about Mexican pride. Look at that, and just to double and triple down on that, and this is something I looked at. Has there ever been a boxer who's generated more money than Canelo Alvarez? Active boxer. The only other person was Floyd. Canelo is the highest paid Mexican boxer in Mexican boxing history. The WBC is never, ever, ever going to shit on them. Because when they tried to force the fight with him and Demetrius Andrade or Charlo, I think it might have been Charlo, he was like, you know what? Fuck your belt. I don't need that shit. You need me. And they was like, oh, yep, okay, all right, Canelo, yeah, well, you know, the champ has spoken, so we're not gonna mandate that fight.
But let me ask you, let me introduce this. I believe that if and I don't know, I don't even care no more. I'm just following the bouncing ball. But this is why it's risky business for Shakur, and I don't care. But this is why. Maybe some of the leverage that Bud had wasn't only the WBO, but also the fact that they can tout him as the undisputed. Shakur is not moving up with that kind of leverage.
Yeah.
And he's not the draw. Like, he got a lot of talking heads and all that, but like, listen, at the end of the day, them numbers. Yeah. And everybody
he's starting right now. He's starting like Shakur is not a draw like Tank yet. He's moving heads and stuff and but he still have to keep more performance. You feel me? It's not like I'm up here now. I can do whatever I want. No, and Crawford is giving bad advice. Like, you don't know when you move up in weight, and you need the WBC to unify. So what the fuck? Now you're gonna burn that bridge? Like,
at the end of the day, I also look at it like this: the Crawford's his moves have always been with a solid organization. He's the best representative of that organization. Where Shakur is coming in, Shakur is supposed to reap those benefits. So it makes more sense for me, looking at the move of him going the WBO route. That makes more sense to me because you beat Teofimo Lopez, but Crawford rise was also always caveated with one other belt. He was always the lineal champion in almost every case of him moving up, except even his move to 54, he was still the lineal champion. He was moving up as the 147-pound lineal champion. Going up to 68, he was fighting for another lineal championship. So when you look at it, he had a hell of a lot more room because he had all the accolades, he had all the trinkets, he had the chest of gold that he can just put on the table and say, listen, whether you fought me in the room or not, I got a chest full of gold that says I belong here. You feel what I'm saying? So he kind of pulled like the bastard son of the Black Panther. The one that didn't nobody know about, and he just popped up like, yeah, I'm him. The dude that Michael B. Jordan played. That's how Bud seemed to be coming in with all of his accolades. Like, I belong here. Y'all can't shut me out. So you see where the WBO found a business interest in working with him. They may find that with Shakur, and at the end of the day, that's where I want to leave it. And I'm just amazed that people so butthurt when these were the same fans that were saying,
Well, it makes no sense for him to go back down to 35. Why would he go back down to 35? 35 basically dead. It ain't nothing but a bunch of young niggas that he can't get no money off of. So he might as well stay at 40. The minute they strip, oh my God, why they stripping? See, they corrupting. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, bro,
what
you
the
can't
hell?
sit there and have it both ways, man.
Not
Shut
coming
the fuck
back.
up.
It depends on who said though, because a lot of people say he vacated it. So I'm like, if he threw it away, what we talking about? What we crying for? But you know, that's a thing. That's probably a show in itself,
No,
man.
it's because they don't like him. He's a black boxer or whatever. They make 20,000. So I hear so many bullshit. I'm like, bro, he's not coming back to 135. So why he need to keep the title? Why he need to freaking clock the freaking 135 division if he's not gonna be fighting there?
He's still gonna be recognized as that. Like,
yeah, he already was a champion.
That.
He's in another division. When De La Hoya moved up from 135 to 140 and fought for the title, he back. They took the 135, and he stayed with the 140. They always do that shit. I don't know what is the big deal. Some people, I don't know what the fuck. They expecting that what he was gonna be fighting, defending a title at 140, and then he gonna cut weight to 135 to defend that title again.
The thing is that this just happened with Lamont Roach. I mean, he went up another division, but like it's selective outrage with this stripping. But we can make that, if y'all want, we can make that a whole nother show. Y'all want to chime in on did Ryan hit the wall and Dev?
Oh yes.
Before
Ryan.
we get into the bulk.
What you want, Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan. Do you think Ryan hit the wall? Like, what's the implications of this fight? And did Ryan hit the wall?
Well, I think this implication is like now is now or never. Like this is his last opportunity to stay relevant. Like he's gonna fight for this title that he should not fight, but he was paying the fees, so he's gonna fight for it. And if he don't fucking perform and beat Mario Barrios, or bro, he don't have no more chance. I don't know. Like I don't know who's gonna be paying attention to him because he already is gonna be his third loss for a world title, you know, like it's tough for him. So I don't know if he's there, if he know where he at, like what he gonna do. But yeah, he's with the sword in his chest and his back to the wall. That's how he is. That's where I am.
Me, I'm in I might be in a different space. Ryan may be like I'm trying to think of the fighter's name, but he just has like one of those personalities and the, how do I say this, the antics around what he do, it makes for great theater. So there's always, in my opinion, going to be a space for Ryan Garcia in professional boxing. He can actually, he's one of those guys that can actually take it either way, because you just look at this dynamic. Jake Paul is out here wilding out right now. Let's say Ryan decides to capitalize off of what Jake Paul already started by putting together these cards. Now you have a legitimate boxer. Ryan could start to put together these exhibition fights with himself because he has a big enough following. So this is a kid that really doesn't need much of the headaches and, yeah, where am I placed? Am I fighting pound for pound? He's a social media star that happens to be a professional boxer. He's a model that happens to be a professional boxer. So this is just who he is. Like, boxing probably for him is just an afterthought or means to the way of selling this selected part of his brand. So he may go into action movies. He would be legitimized and stuff like that, especially if he gets a belt and then decides, you know what, I'm actually done with boxing. I don't want to deal with the headaches. I don't want to deal with a lot of this shit. I want to be able to drink, smoke weed, do whatever the fuck I want to do, and never have to worry about making weight and all of that other stupid shit. So Ryan is in a place that says, listen, I knock Mario Barrios out, my entire future, whether it's concerning boxing or not, is made. So he may have hit his glass ceiling or hit his wall concerning his mentality moving forward with professional boxing. But if he looks at the business side and the brand that he's already built, he could be like, bro, all I gotta do is beat Mario Barrios or knock this motherfucker the fuck out. I'm gooder than good. All of them niggas gonna be mad because they can't make moves like me.
Yeah, I side with you. I say that he's standing right in front of the wall, and it's his option to scale it. And I'm looking at it. If I look at it solely from a pure boxing standpoint, like a boxing head, he need an accolade. I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, even though Boots didn't had it, I was like, listen, your peers are lapping you. Ryan, you got all the talent in the world. You're not that dedicated, but you need that hardware. Contrary to popular belief, that matters. They're gonna look back and say, oh, but he never won. It's just like, as great as Charles Barkley was, they always say, oh, he never won. Even Patrick Ewing, oh man, he blew that layup. But they say they throw that up in his face, and then when LeBron make moves to actually get it, they say, oh man, look at what you had to do. It's like, yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. From a pure boxing perspective, he got to scale this wall called Mario Barrios. He can do that. He can make a statement. That makes that rematch with Devin that much bigger. I don't know if that's what Devin is secretly waiting for. I'm not sure. But Mario Barrios is a good barometer. Because we've seen people have success. I don't know if that was a layoff after his baby or what. I don't know. With Abel Ramos. I think it was Abel Ramos. I think one of them Ramos guys. But with Mario Barrios, we've seen him down. We've seen him, I guess, pull punches. We've seen the Manny Pacquiao stuff. We've seen him beat up Ugas. We've seen him get stopped by Tank. This is a crossroads fight, and I'm tired of them slutting Mario Barrios out. I'm not the biggest Ryan fan, but he got skills, man. And deep down, I kind of like Ryan, but I'm not a fan. Like, I don't do really much on him. I think he's in front of the wall. He got to scale it. What y'all think about Devin being one and done at 47? And what Zab said. That was what Zab said. He might be. He might be one and done. How would y'all interpret that?
As expected. I did not see Devin looking to unify, become undisputed, or anything like that. In his mind, he's done it already. And he's done it in a division that had a Tank Davis in it, had a Shakur Stevenson in it, and stuff like that. So in their mind, they're like, yeah, we did it when these guys was in the division and active champions or active fighters. So we don't have to be undisputed again. We've already been there. So sometimes maybe down in the future, they may. I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I meant to add something. He said, he's a big boy. Like, his voice got high and everything. He said, man, Devin is a big boy. Like, his voice almost cracked when he said it. I meant to add that when he said he might be one and done. Go back and look at it. But go ahead, AC. You said
but basically what I'm saying is that maybe sometime in the future, you know what I'm saying? When they get in a division that they really, really feel comfortable with the weight and everything else, that could be 54. That might even be 60. They're going to try to go for that run to become undisputed again and things like that. But for right now, I think their game plan is more or less putting themselves in the same, keep themselves relevant within the same names of who the mainstream boxing media is telling you now are the kings of the division. And unfortunately, that's going to be, a Conor Benn, a Shakur Stevenson, a Ryan Garcia, a Devin Haney, and, for argument's sake, you could throw in a Rolly. So,
okay.
You feel what I'm saying? I think that's the path that they're probably on. Being a Devin Haney fan and just watching how they tend to move. And I could probably say the Xander Zayas fight might be a real thing, knowing them, because they really don't come out, and Bill doesn't say things like that without really saying, yeah, if we could lock the fight in, and we could get everybody on board with the money and everything, yeah, this fight, we can make this fight. So I think that's what they're gonna do, and then say, yeah, we took out the young guy who just unified and stuff like that. You know, I don't know how long, if he does that, I don't know how long he stays at 54. He may even do that and then say, all right, we got the leverage over Boots. Boots, what you want to do? What you want to do? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I think their play is probably moving up to 54.
What you think, Melazar?
With Sander? Nah, how they're been taking Sander, that fight I don't see it happening. Like the Sander team are
Caesar
are using Sander as a tool. You know, they are making his weight very smooth and stuff. Like, I don't think they're gonna make a fight with Devin Haney right now in these moments, because what they're building with him is other thing. They are in another path. Like Sander, I see him like, I think he's gonna go for Fundora because that's the fight he wants to, or Josh Kelly. But I think it's Fundora. He's gonna wait for the winner of Fundora and Thurman, and he's gonna go for that fight. That's the fight that they want. But I don't know.
Eddie did speak on it though. He said that fight does make a lot of sense in terms of building Xander as a superstar if he could win. But you know, as far as Devin Haney is concerned, it makes him a megastar. So
yeah, but they're not like worried about that. They're building him more as a for weekend stuff and shit like that. They don't.
I mean, he's under top rank, but this was just Eddie's thoughts on the fight and stuff like that.
Yeah, but remember, at the Bad Buddy, they got a company, Rimas, right? That do promotions and stuff. They got baseball players signing and shit like that. Eddie don't even got the amount of money these people got. So you saw they already put him in the Super Bowl, right? So I know what they're doing with him. Like, that's what I see it. Like, I know what they're gonna do with him, and they're gonna take him in a very specific way. You know, don't. Acho, no, I know.
But I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. That was the caveat that Eddie Hearn was saying, because they asked Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn did used to represent Devin Haney, and he was like, yeah, but he was like, do I see the fight happening now? He was like, no, because Xander just unified. He basically just got his belt. They're gonna move him in a way that Top Rank has themselves a star. We've said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, sometimes we hear these rumbles and then, you know, we expect the fighter to go one direction and the fighter just says, well, listen, if I feel like I beat him, that's a nice money grab, and I do have that victory. I'm the guy that hands this guy his O. If they take the bait. If they don't take the bait, nobody can call it a duck. Nobody can't call it anything else, because you're not in my weight class. So I can't duck you, and you're not in my weight class. And I know what I'm trying to do, as far as I've already started my run to take over this division. Just like we give other fighters at other divisions that carte blanche when they making a run, we may have to, you know, give Xander that mulligan as well.
But this what I'm getting at. Are they opening up a can of worms with this? Like, because if you say Xander is food, and then you got your guard that talking about Devin's a big boy, man. He might be one and done. It's like, so does that open up a can of worms to where it's like, okay, well, at 54, There's Boots, there's Josh Kelly, there's man,
a
like
bunch of big guys too.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm like, do you
You're
back
not the only big guy there, you know. In 154, then Devin is not the only big guy. It's a bunch of big guys there. So they have to think about that, because if we go up there, but mira, what they did in the Sanders fight, that's the reason I know how they're taking him, because that place that was packed, that was an illusion. If you saw the canvas was filled with companies that was kind of government companies, so they sponsored that place, but you had to give them tickets. So the way they fit up that stadium is an illusion for the Fundora or the De La Hoya that say that in Puerto Rico you don't fill up places and you don't make money and shit like that. Yeah, kind of, because I know that place wasn't packed just because people went and bought and paid the tickets like they did for Subriel. You know, was more a place like a bunch of sponsors pay some money, they got some tickets, and they give it to the people they know. I know they did that. Bro, I know how they're building Sander. You know,
are they going to cash him out, or they're not going to put him at risk?
They were not going to put him on risk right now, because they're building him like a national star. You feel me? And they tried to... Bro, you don't saw him with the Puerto Rican flag in the Super Bowl running with it? Like he was the man. Yo, that's how they're building him.
I see how it shows you how they building the Vargas boy too. Man.
Yeah,
we gonna get up to the meat and potatoes, but yeah,
they
they
get this population behind them and this market. They are using these kids as a freaking marketing.
But see, Malazar, remember when you and I was talking specifically about the honorable mention to being the face of boxing?
Shit, yeah.
When we was talking about that guy. At the end of the day, if you wanted to start to make that move, you know what I'm saying? You could have commented, you could have put it on your own page or something like that. But, you know, to try to get yourself, as well as you being the newly crowned 4-division champ and stuff like that, I think that might have been a plane ride to take and actually be out there, get in your uniform, flash off your new belts and stuff like that. And it would have been like, oh shit, it was Xander out there. Shakur showed up for the Boricuas. Yo, that shit was, and the Vargas brothers. You know what I'm saying? So when we were just talking about taking advantage of your situation, that's one thing I was like, damn, bro, you I think you might have missed a huge opportunity.
They was too busy getting their butts rubbed. They still butt.
Yeah.
But let's transition, y'all. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. We're an hour in, so good cook though, man. Wonderful feedback, man. We got a couple different episodes. Remember where y'all heard it first, man. Super chat the channel, man. Support the channel, man, because you're going to hear you're going to hear this somewhere else. I promise you. So I implore you, man, support Bodywork, man.
We see what is happening and we talk about it and we just digest the information.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what we do, man. We break it down, man. We be having several shows in one. I just want to make it more like if you listen to the playback, I don't want to give people too much to have to listen to, so we got to get in and get out. But that's why I'm being more consistent. But we talk about a variety of topics, and even though the belts have changed hands, WBA Junior Welterweight champ Gary Antuanne Russell still has the same plan. Man, let's break it down. Gary Antuanne Russell, I was always describing him as probably the most dangerous guy on the road, as I call it, with the exception of when Tank decides he wants to, play in that weight division. Right now, as far as champions and as far as his record, he stopped everybody. I think he's 19-1. with 18 knockouts, something like that. I can get it out. I'm not looking at that right now. I can pull that out, but like he stopped everybody. He had lost a decision to Alberto Puello, and El Rayo made the distance, and that's how he got the strap that he currently has from El Rayo, the WBA. So I was, like very, very proud, man, to actually see Major. When I seen that it was the ring, my eyes almost popped out of his head. And why you say that, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? Because listen, there is a civil war, right? There is a war going on, and I tell y'all, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. If you notice, major media don't really unless they don't really cover the PBC guys. Like there's a tank, there's a slant. I don't know why, but I know why. We know why, because they control the media, and right now it's a press to devalue the belts. It's a press to kind of force foreign entities to take over. It's a press to get Zuffa started and get a plantation going. It's a lot of things going on, and the rumor mill is always spreading this stuff about how PBC this and that. It's like, well, PBC was an organization full of premier champions who were their boxers. The boxers are still fighting. It's just that they don't get the attention. So for me to look up and see the Ring magazine interviewing Gary Antuanne Russell and not even weaponizing them this time. It's not, they not bringing them out to, take a on Richardson Hitchens or say something about Tank. They actually bringing him out to acknowledge that he was number 5 at 140. That's how they got him ranked. I don't know how they decide these things, because I always argue, and this was my argument about when people jump and skip the line. It was the belts and your status and your tenure and your notoriety from holding that belt that allowed you to jump over everybody that was at 140. Everybody that was there that then went through the ring, or some might have lost. They look at Liam Paro. I think he's jumping up to 47. But everybody that was there, he's been there at 140. Richardson Hitchens, they've been there at 140 all of this time. So they just now starting to bloom and blossom in their own little ways, but they've been fighting at that weight division, their weight division, all of this time. They didn't come in and suck down and do all this, but Gary was always looked at like a boogeyman. You get the inactivity moniker, and he kind of inherited a little bit of that from Mr. Gary Russell. There was a lot of politics and all that going involved, but Gary Antuanne Russell was on Ring magazine talking to Max Kellerman, Mike Cap, LaShawn McCoy. He was on there, and they gave him his salute pretty much. They showed him a lot of respect, and he doubled down. The very reason why he's in my intro, and he says the plan is to have all of the titles, all of the belts. He's the last boxer's voice you hear. So I've been pulling for him, just like a lot of other guys in the road, just like Super Barrel, just like Richardson Hitchens, all of these guys at 40. I've been pulling for these guys for so long. Now they're getting their time to shine. They get the showcase next week. Nobody's really talking about Gary Antuanne Russell right now, but I was glad to see him in that light. What y'all think about the spotlight?
Who is Gary opponent? Because I even know who is the opponent.
Andy Hirioka.
Ooh.
He's the guy. He stopped Ishmael Barroso. He stopped Jim Sasaki. He's a knockout artist for sure.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Ooh.
Yeah,
knockout.
What do you think about that interview, AC?
Oh, for me, I love that interview. It's one of my top 3 interviews that I've seen so far with fighters this year. Brian Norman, David Benavidez, and now Gary Antuanne. I have to say this before I go any further. I was kind of on the fence with Gary Antuanne. I was like, I like you, but I don't know if you nice as your brother, and I don't know what they're gonna really do with you. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. The fight where he lost that night, I actually thought he was gonna lose that fight. I was like, there's just something wrong with the way he comes in, and a technical boxer is gonna read that shit every time. give that step back and just keep catching him. So once he made that turn on his return, I was like, okay, he's a fighter that says, yeah, I had a loss. I'm gonna take it as a lesson to be learned, and not take it as some other weird shit. And then when I actually got to see like a whole interview with him, I was like, yeah, this dude has that people's champ quality. He has that throwback mindset. Yeah, bro. You at the end of the day, this is what you wanted to see. If this dude was built like that, and in that interview, he showed me that, and I was just like, yeah. You made a solid fan out of me because of that interview, because I liked his intent, I liked his energy, I liked his humility. When they asked him, they said, well, listen, he said, based on what you saw with Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, what would be your fight that's your big breakout fight? He just laughed and he was like, come on, man. If we talking about 140, it's only one fighter. That's Shakur. Like, everybody else is good fights, great fighters, but if you talking breakout to make me a star like that, it's got to be about Shakur. And then he was honest and said, but I don't think he's going to fight me. So he wants, his hit list right now is either the IBF champ or the WBC champ, but he really wants that WBC belt. So I don't mind his energy, man. I like it. I like the fact that, he recognizes, like, right off the bat that that Gary Hirioka is a tough fight, despite what people might have to say. And he impressed all of those people that was actually there when, in being the type of fighter that once the fight is made, he's not saying, well, I'm super levels above the guy, he ain't got a chance, he's a bum, you know what I'm saying? He gives his fighters props, so when the victory happens, it ages extremely well. We don't have to question, like, well, then is this a cherry pick? Because I've seen from these two guys constantly say, I wouldn't have picked the fight if I felt that I couldn't beat him, or I knew I couldn't beat him. I just like, why the fuck do you say that stupid shit?
Like that don't sound nothing like tough, for real. That sounds like, what? You're picking an easy fight? For real?
And he speaks on that. He's like, yeah, you can. Most of the fighters out here all want an easy victory. You know what I'm saying? But when you're looking for something and you're trying to do something, you can't take the easy route. So I was like, boom,
yeah,
that's my nigga right there, bro. You
gotta take the stairs. Like, the people don't want to take the stairs. Everybody using the elevator, man.
And don't call your opponent a bum, because if you're telling me that opponent is a bum and it's a easy work, why are I gonna watch it? Because it's an easy fight. Why are I gonna spend my money to watch that? No, I don't know. These guys sometimes don't think what they say, and they think they sound cool, but they sound stupid. For real.
Yeah, man. I think he represented, man, and I like to see him in that light. He was, he's smart, man. I say he was like the valedictorian of his class, man. He's upstairs and in the ring, like, he don't even fight like that, but he's very astute. He got a vast vocabulary. He's very mature, like early. You could see him when he still looked young, and he had it like that youthful look, but he in his prime. He speaks well, and he's not like he's saying and doing what we want, the energy. This is why I say this don't get celebrated. For all my people who say they love boxing and they pure box, like, this don't get, like, he's saying, listen, I want all of these titles, so it gotta be Shakur. Yeah, you gotta see me. And there's crickets when Richardson Hitchens won. They say, oh, he ducking. Even when I looked at Richardson Hitchens saying and talking and doing this thing today, like, he took the stairs, man. Like, but I seen him saying, and then the first comment I see is, he's still ducking Gary Antuanne. I'm like, man, listen, Gary Antuanne is saying they all gotta see me. And he's walking in it, y'all. He could easily jump his ass up to 47. He was in so in shape, he could drop down if he wanted to. He said it before, because I was like, oh shit. I mean, we could get Gary Antuanne. I was like, oh shit. Like, but he said that. I've been tracking, I've been following. Hey, AJ, salute Aaron Jones. I see Aaron Jones on here. My bad. What's going on, Aaron?
What's up, guys, man? What's up with y'all?
What up?
Salute, bro.
Hope all is well. But yeah, I just wanted y'all to chime in on this one little thing I seen. So it's regarding to the Gary Russell, like his older brother, you know, Gary Russell Jr. He was on Fight Hype, right? He was talking about the fight with his brother and, you know, Shakur and the fight, all that. But one part stuck out to me, bro, and I gotta salute Gary, because I wasn't a fan of him at first until that whole thing with Devin Haney played out and all that. But this really made me a fan. So the interviewer, you know how Fight Hype is, they was like, so yeah, what you think about Richard Henson not mentioning your brother, right? So once it got right there, I was like, oh man, you know how that goes. It surprised me what he said. He actually said the interviewer thought he was ready, you know, join in. You know how the interviewers, they like for the fighters to join in on the bullshit. He didn't. He straight said, he was like, the interviewer get to laughing, like trying to make fun of Richard Henson. He was like, the thing is, he was like, the thing is, why didn't you ask him about my brother? Or why didn't why he not pursuing him? He was like, a lot of times y'all interviewers, y'all do stuff for the clicks and the views and all that. He was like, y'all should start shining a light on these situations. And that's not just pertaining to this is what I think. That's not just pertaining to that situation. That's involving all that. When they hear Shakur talk about this, my brother, I'm not fighting Tank, who is dead. They should call him out on these things, bro. They shouldn't just let it. They basically, in my opinion, and that's all I'm gonna say, I've been telling Bodywork this, bro. They are part of ruining the sport. It's making it soft, because it's more about clicks and views rather than making these fights, bro. Because if Richard Hedges is not getting questions about this, that, and the third, why should he talk about it? He's not gonna talk about it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, he's not sure.
Yeah, great point. But see, my thing is this. I always take it one step further. I say, okay, well, right now, everybody's going to say that Richardson is like the clear B-side. If he the B-side and he's over somebody, all these A-sides, like Shakur ain't going to fight him. You know, Keyshawn, he said he wanted, Tout Sean or whatever said he wanted more money, blah, blah, blah. Nobody, like, and it would be up to Gary and them to send a contract of his people, but, you know, if that's the route that they're going, and it's going to come to that. But like nobody else get no flack for like not sending the man a contract. Like he had T.O. in the ring. He was supposed to unify with T.O. and he said F Devin. And when Devin fought Brian Norman, he said I want next. He been saying he wanna unify too. He had a plan. Like, so it's like you gotta look at it from both sides. But I respect Mr. Gary Russell for saying that, man, because they do that so much. And I be like, man, we don't do that.
They wanted him to bomb on him so bad, bro. I'm like, yo, that's sad. Yeah. This is and he the only one that said anything about it. The other entities, they go along with it, bro. I be like, yo, that's killing the sport.
And bro. They know Hitchens is fighting his mandatory. He can do shit. He have to fight his mandatory. He's IBF champion. Look, they know that shit.
Look, just like this. This is the mandatory. Like, so they both handling business. I say, and it's funny that nobody bring it up. Like, nobody brought this up to Shakur. Like, now listen, the ring is talking to Gary. Now we got to see the follow up when they talk to Shakur about this. Because they already trying to say Shakur and Conor Ben, they trying to push that further along. I'm like, that circus shit, but it's business now. Like, you in the road now. You done fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Just like I think Devin, as soon as if he slide to 54, they both gonna be in the two most dangerous divisions out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they gotta do it. Then they gotta follow up and they gotta ask Shakur, because when it came down to Hitchens, Hitchens, they asked, they like, oh yeah, what about Gary? They didn't do this with Shakur. This is what I be trying to say. Keep the same energy. Well, Gary keeping the same energy. He say, listen, I want all of the titles, all of the belts. These belts, they changing plans, they changing seats, they changing hands. I still have the same plan. I want them all. I got to get all of these straps. That's my thing.
And that's the part that I liked as well. I like the fact that he was just open and honest about a lot of things. Maybe to the point to whereas if there are haters, they're gonna try to use a clip that he said, you know,
they did already. I don't mean
to try to cause dissent between them. Like, how do you feel your younger brother said you not the head trainer? And it's like, bro, don't ask him that question. You know the context of what he was saying. He's like, yeah, we grew up in the same house. I watched you. The years between us ain't that much, and the same shit Dad was teaching you, he was teaching me. I respect you, and I know you got my back. You feel what I'm saying? But just like I'm a student of the game, he's a student of the game. We're all students of the game. So is he the head trainer right now? Maybe not exactly, but he's doing a hell of a job to hold us down. Maybe 5 years, or when he commits to just being a trainer, he'll be that guy. But right now, no, because he's still thinking about fighting. He's got to get me ready. So that's the way I looked at it. I'm not trying to interpret it or say this is what he meant. He said some of these things in clear language. So for me, I'm just like, I know they're going to try to do that type of stupid shit to cause some, like right before this fight, they're going to keep trying to ask him, well, what do you think about what your younger brother said that you're not a head trainer? And
we're gonna check the shit out of them when they do that, man. We're gonna what AJ, because you don't be up here like that. What you said they chopped them already?
Yeah, on Twitter, they used that clip from the ring, and when he said, "What's the other the European that's champion at 140?" Yeah, he said him first, right? All you see in the comments, why he say him first? He really don't want to fight Shakur. Bro, he just said what he said. Man, Shakur's not to fight him. I'm saying that right now. Shakur's not.
Yeah, but he said Shakur
said that. First, he said, I don't think he'll fight me. He said that. They ain't cooked that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like they so focused on him saying he want to fight the other dude first. Which he like you just said, Bodywork, he said he already had a plan.
What's wrong with it?
Dalton came up there, bro.
No, but the context of it was he said he would fight. He wants to fight all of them. He said, I would love to fight Shakur first before I fight these other guys. But I know he's not going to fight me. So the fights that make sense, that can actually be made, that I could go after this mandatory, I can actually make the Dalton Smith fight.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be first because it's the easiest one to make. You feel what I'm saying?
And he got the WBC title, like the title.
Yeah, and that's the title he want.
And that's what he said, because he said he beat the boogeyman. He's like, he beat the boogeyman, so I would want to beat him. It's the same thing. Like it's just the same thing. Like Hitchens beating the guy that beat. Like, but it's different respects. They don't acknowledge these things. They just want to clip it and get the click and get the view. Like, but we gonna cook their ass every time. Cause we got the 300 that's gonna bring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because Shakur beat Tio and stuff, but it wasn't like he knocked him out and stuff like that in a way that everybody will say, "Damn, Shakur, you are the next monster."
Yeah, Dalton Smith knocked out the boogie.
Yeah,
like whoa.
Yeah,
let me do this one thing.
You know I'm a big fan of Subriel, and I accept that. Like that shit was a big damn. Whoa, what? So don't tell me that Dalton Smith is not a big guy just because he's a British guy. He did something that nobody expected. So
but let me do this because Aaron ain't gonna be here. I think he about to hop off. Let me ask him this one thing before he leaves because I don't get his input. But how did you interpret this Shakur not wanting to mention Tank? Like, just break that down real quick because I need to chop this into a short, man. I know you. How'd you interpret that, man? How'd you interpret that?
Oh, I got it. I ain't gonna lie. It's clear to see, but somebody had tweeted it or commented on it, bro. he's basically trying to do the same thing he did that Earl did. I mean that Bud did to Earl, and it's clear to see Shakur's not gonna keep fighting the top guys. He fought T.O., he got him out the way. That's a top guy. He's gonna keep bouncing around, bro. Fight here, fight there, just like Terrence Crawford did. Terrence Crawford didn't fight 2-3 times, 3 times a year. He fought here and there. He clearly seen Spence had that accident. He started bouncing around and he waited. Even when they was making a fight, what did he do? He straight said, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna jump out this negotiation. I'm gonna fight real quick." And that gave that Spence did all that training and was, he was basically, depleted. I ain't making no excuses, but he basically waited him out. That's what he's trying to do, and that's what they're trying to do with Tank. But this time, they trying to make it a collective. If you can clearly see, all the media want Tank to get locked up so bad. Tank ain't flipping no fucking Ferrari over, God forbid, or no offense to Earl, but he not flipping no Ferrari over. Okay, like a little legal issues here and there. They had to force Tank into a because the what they call it, the narrative is that PBC fighters don't fight enough. Tank was on a roll, bro, in these past couple of years leading up to these past events. They forced that man to be in like a little hiatus. You feel me? But you can clearly see that, and even in that interview he did with Aiden Ross, bro, he looking the whole time. He keep looking at Crawford like, what is he, or what should I say, or what Crawford gonna say. Even when Aiden Ross made a little joke about Tank getting the grease in his eye, he looked at Crawford, waited to laugh, and then laughed. Even with the Andre Wards, I believe Andre Ward has something to do with how Bud handled Spence too, because he did the same. I've been hearing he did the same thing with Kovalev on that second fight. Like, bro, these guys, they is great. Don't get me wrong. Bud is great. Ward is great, but they phony, bro. They fake and they phony. They trying to wait that man Tank out, and who knows? It might come to fruition. It might not. But all I can see is them being strategic of how they handling Tank. Because if Ward and Crawford, if they going by everything they say they going by, which is, I'm fighting this guy. I want to fight the best of the best. Bro, tell your man to make that fight with Tank right now. Not no, I'm running off because I beat T.O. and I'm the star now. All the attention on me. So I'm going to just wait it out. No, tell them fight him right now because they both free agents. There's no reason the fight should not happen at all. But
they saying Shakur signed.
And then they another fight and then Fort Spence. No, bro. Fight him right now. They're not gonna do that. Why? Because they know, that's just my opinion. They know Tank gonna knock Shakur out, bro. And it's not even funny. I'm not even saying like bias, nothing like that's just a bad style. Shakur gotta get mad. Or that style he's not gonna work. He ran from Super Comp or whatever, man.
Your mic messing up. Aaron Jones, your mic messing up, man. You sounded like robotic or something. Well, I'll let him come back. But yeah, AC, what do you think about what Aaron was saying, man?
It's a bit interesting. You could definitely see the game plan and stuff like that because during the second half of Floyd's career, this was an argument they tried to make about Floyd, but it was like, no, you can't make that argument about Floyd because Floyd
is always catching you off either your best victory or your best performance. So he's trying to catch you when everything is right. So he looks for those guys who have those impressive victories, who are big and building themselves a solid name and stuff like that. And he says, yeah, this is going to be a big fight. And it winds up being a big fight. What's going on here is you're telling me this is a big fight because one guy was already established. He's on the second half of his career. He's not looking that great, but the name still carries weight. So this is why, in my opinion, they're going after these guys, because you're saying he's very beatable now, but that name still has a lot of weight. And the accolades that he has along with that name, even though he's not that fighter, you know, the boxing media is going to eat that type of stuff up, because we're, you know, people are like, they're always looking for those. The boxing media is always looking for the next best thing. And with Crawford, you basically only had it with 3 fights. He's like the rapper that came into the game that had 2 or maybe 3 albums, and then you never seen him again. You feel what I'm saying? For those who just didn't follow Crawford and was like, yo, who is this guy that came out and beat Errol Spence like that, and blah 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 blah. So his time is short-lived. So when you look at it, you say, okay, if Shakur's gonna take that mantle, then we now have to switch that to some of these younger guys that are on there, that are sketchy and look vulnerable. It's the same argument we made when you and I was offline and we was talking about, you know, we watched that Diego Pacheco fight, and I had texted you, I was like, if Hamza's smart, he would go after him right now as far as a business decision. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To whereas the business of boxing and the sport of boxing says, I could fight you when you're on top, and I wanted to fight you on top. But now that I know your name still holds that bit of danger, but you're on a slump, right now, why don't I hand you your first loss? And that's part of the business of boxing. And it's like, okay, that's what Gary spoke of. Is that easy victory? Or are you being opportunistic? So I think it would be a bit of both. That the way Shakur and his team is looking, the way they're trying to match Shakur or moving forward, they're going to be looking to match Shakur is you're going to take opportunity. You're going to be very, very opportunistic, as well as, you know, they may shy down on the talk of he ain't this, and I wouldn't have picked the fight if I felt that I couldn't beat him. So they may calm down on that type of talk, but who knows with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You said something earlier, man, that I was like, man, I be like trying to simplify what I be trying to say, but like for me, it's kind of weird looking at this gladiator sport where it's supposed to be a Highlander. It's supposed to be like me. My whole thing is like Predator. That's like, well, that's why that's like my favorite series. You know what I'm saying? Like Predator. Yeah. Like I look at it like, nah, man. Like I don't want you. Like man, you got gimpy leg, man. You can't see. I don't want it. But it's something about you said this. You was like, now it's like these guys be wanting all like the advantage. Now I understand like wanting advantages. I understand that when it's your hometown, like you the star, it's your hometown, so you want to dictate everything. Like you want to dictate the size of the ring and all that kind of stuff, and this and that, and like you that guy. I understand all of that, but it's like these guys, they want like I'm like if you look at the army deplete the truth. Like that fall from grace, like man. And I think in part he kind of got to be like scared because like you like if you everybody that's talking all this hyperbole like down Tank ain't even pound for pound. I'm like, hey man, y'all listen to that. Y'all can listen to that all you want. Y'all can think that this is what's gonna happen when he fight him and all that, but in his heart of hearts, he know he can be up out of there. You know, and is that a risk he really want to take? Because if he felt like that as the man, then when you become the man, you supposed to do it the way you wanted the man to do it. Like when, you know what I'm saying, and you had turned down that. So it's like in your heart of hearts, you gotta know that you stand a chance to lose. This is boxing, and even Gary Antuanne said, man, with those 8-ounce gloves, he said that too. He said, listen, I respect everybody because with these 8-ounce gloves, anybody can do damage. I'm like, so you trying to tell me that he's just 100% sure he can go in there and just wash, like he don't ever get hit? Like if you ever show me a fight where he never got, you show me any boxer who never got hit, you know, just never got hit, like that. And so in my mind, man, it's like, you know, for me, it's weird when I keep hearing that they want what advantage and they want this and they want that. I'm like, wow, like. And then when fighters get to the point where like, all right, come on, man, let's just make the fight, whatever you want. That's not going. I don't think that's going to happen in this situation like what it happened with Earl. But I've been looking at it and I like the energy Gary got, man. I hope he don't change, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and that's where I was with it, and just from his demeanor and all of that kind of stuff. He doesn't seem to be like he may go down that route of becoming Hollywood and then dealing with them silk sheets. So just on that note, that's why I was like, yeah, it's dudes like you that are refreshing to me to watch and hear talk, and it's guys like you that when I'm thinking, you know what, man, there's so much bullshit in this boxing shit, man. I'm only gonna pop my head out when there's good, relevant fights. The rest of this shit I don't even wanna really entertain or anything like that. It's, you know, the boxing universe says, hold on now, don't get, you know, calm down with the knee-jerk reaction. I know this shit easy out here, but how about this one for you? How about just check out this guy? Because I saw the thumbnail and I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this. And then after that I was like, whoa, okay, I'm actually happy that I watched this.
Yeah. That's you know, that's how it is. It's just when we in between fights and then all mainstream and YouTube want to talk about the same old stuff and they don't want to educate themselves. It'd be like, man, what is boxing about? But they are like, that's why I always say it's 80-20. Like you would never think if you just did a pulse right now and put out an indicator for what's going on with boxing right now, you would never think that the row with all them fighters and the welterweight championship, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to be defended. Like you would never think that's going on next week.
Yeah.
Like in 8 days. So in 8 days, we got some of the biggest, most implicating fights. We already got 4 upsets, and everybody just stuck complaining and whining and acting like victims and gaslighting. You know, I mean, you know, I'm glad to see that him and Mr. Gary Russell are being more vocal. At least they having presence and they getting active. And I think Mr. Gary, they're gonna get this out of the way, and then I think Mr. Gary coming like, oh well, I know Antonio might be like around April. I think they said Antonio. That's the one with that most devastating combination. I'm just glad to see they getting their shine, and Gary Antuanne Russell is not shying away from stating what the goals was, and we can draw from the great Errol Spence, man down, whereas he didn't care who had the belt. He wanted undisputed, and that's what resonated with me with Gary Antuanne, because Errol didn't care. Because Errol could have went up and did the money thing. Like if he would have took the same approach as the Shakurs and the Buds, Man, he would have been like, all right then, bud, you want to act like that? And then he would have went and used his stardom to go get a Canelo fight, go get all the other fights he wanted. Hell, they could have lined it up with him and Mel. You know, he could have went so many different ways, but guess what? He wanted undisputed.
Yeah.
Gary Antuanne want undisputed, so it don't matter that, because it was going to have to be T.O. I don't think Gary really wanted to do that because it's T.O. and they kind of cool. But he knows, he said, at the end of the day, I need them all. I want all the titles, all of the belts. It don't matter that Shakur got them. Now that Dalton popped it off with Sabril, because I needed to see Sabril, but I got to get this mandatory out of the way. I got to go see Dalton. And yeah, Richardson Hitchens, I beat him in the amateurs. He said that. I mean, the amateur stuff, I'm like, man. You know, but people pick and choose when the amateur stuff mattered, because Gary Antuanne also beat Boots more times than Boots got him. So, I mean, but I'm going to digress because people pick and choose. But I like the energy. I like the fact that he getting in the spotlight and he represented right, man. They both represented right. So I wanted to spotlight that, let everybody know that he do have Andy Hirioka.
Yeah, and his breakdown of Andy Hirioka was mad impressive. It's like, you know this dude. He was like, he's very long. He wants to control everything from the outside. And just that breakdown that he gave of him, it was like, yeah, you and your brother sit down, watch fights, and y'all analyze shit and break shit down. Like, you know what you going in there to look at. So for me, it's gonna be crazy. And the thing that I'll be looking for that fight is, based on what you said, how is that going to how does that translate into your actions in the ring? And that's going to be the thing that I'm going to be looking at. It's got me, honestly, between the breakdown, his energy and everything, it's got me feeling like, yo, I might be edging now, Gary. Like, seriously. You feel what I'm saying? I'm still like, Andy ain't nothing to fuck with. He's not a joke, bro. But I think you got the mentality, the way you broke down that fight, having your brother in your corner, and I think your brother has one of the best tactical breakdown minds in boxing. So I'm like, yo, this fight gonna be crazy, and I'm still with you. I don't think this motherfucker going the distance, so that just makes it even more like, I gotta see this shit.
Yeah, I like this breakdown, and I'm rooting for Gary 2 parts. I think one, Gary's my guy, man. The Russells, man, like, you know, they deserve, like, the family of Russells, man. That's a special set of boxers, man. Like, a whole special situation. Everything is unique about them, and they authentic. You know what I'm saying? And they from the crib. You know what I'm saying? So I can't deny that they from the crib. So I'm pulling for him in that way, in the fact that he gets his goals and achievements. I appreciate what Hirioka brings to the table. It's a very, very dangerous fight. I think it'd be an excellent pelt on the wall for Gary Antuanne. He can further, cement his legacy by doing that, and retain his title. Because we keep hearing, and the new. I'm not going to say the B word too much, the boogeyman word, because it seems like when I be saying, oh, this boogeyman, they've been getting their asses whacked. So I don't want to say that. But I also think, from the business of boxing, this is what will happen. So yes, in first, I want to be clear. In first, I'm pulling for Gary Antuanne Russell because he's one of my guys. He's been one of my guys. I got a track record showing it. I hope he retains his title. He's from the crib. I like his style. He's not a safety first fighter. He's cerebral. He's smart. He comes from the Russell clan. So at first, yes. But for the business of boxing, if Hirioka were to do whatever he was going to do, he was going to get treated the same way Puyo got, and more recently, even though Puyo got shots, but he's going to be treated like how Bakram was. If he do something like that, like, people going to be like, they going to act like he got ick. They're going to be like, oh, he got the ick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going nowhere near him, and then he going to happen to, be out and be inactive and then whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pulling for him for a multifaceted amount of reasons, even though this is a very dangerous fight, and I know he's not sleeping on Hirioka.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it, man. I seen Richardson Hitchens, he was talking and stuff, and I'm happy for him and Frank Martin. He getting ready to do his thing, and major media, YouTube, like it's rare that they want to talk about this, but I'm barely even seeing stuff about Deron Garcia, but the road's getting ready to be on full display. We're getting ready to see why everybody's playing hopscotch with the division, because they about to get busy, and we ain't even really break down Frank Martin versus Nair Albright. I want to go
So
back and look
that's a
at
whole
Nair
nother
too.
show. That's a
Yeah.
whole show because we did Hitchens. Now we just got through with Gary Antuanne. So the next one is is Frank Martin, and with Frank, just to start that conversation off, it's like he's not the talker. It's like
Right.
you just have to go by performances. You're not gonna, maybe leading up. What's his name? Brian Custer will try to get a hold of Frank Martin to see what'll happen. Maybe Cigar Talk or one of these other platforms that are constantly in the race for the interviews and stuff like that. Maybe one of them will come out and they'll have enough good questions that it's broad enough and fun enough that Frank Martin could like really get into it, lean into a lot of stuff, and show us a side of Frank Martin that says, yeah, you also have that potential. You feel what I'm saying? Because if these guys got that potential and they always online talking some stupid shit, then the guys like you and Gary Antuanne, who else? Abdullah Mason and people like that, you guys are always the ones that are keeping boxing grounded, because we can look at you and say, all right, you're right there, so where do you stand as far as you and Gary Russell, as far as being the two voices that already have said, you know what, I lost my O, but that shit doesn't define me on some Andy Cruz shit. So that's why I think Frank is also gonna be extremely important in the division, because he's like, I've already tasted that shit. I know what it's like, and I lost to the best guy at 135 pounds, and I was giving him good work before I lost. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't listen. Y'all could try to clown me, but ain't nothing funny. So Frank is showing that. Yeah, y'all could clown me, but get in that ring with me. I'm gonna show you ain't nothing funny and ain't shit sweet.
That's why Klaus Sean, that's why he trying to take his tail up to 47, man. But I ain't gonna get into it. But look, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. and Frank Martin were my number 1 and number 2 comeback fighters of the year in 2025. Yeah. So I got my eyes on them. I like the fact that they're going to be active. I'm waiting for Mr. Gary to announce his. But like, man, Frank ain't nothing to play with, man. He mess around and do something bad to Nair Albright, man.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a whole nother thing. And we didn't straight up do Hitchens and Duarte. Yeah, that's gonna be another one. But we're gonna do Hitchens and Duarte, and we're gonna do Ghost versus Albright. I gotta go back and really look at, and I'm not gonna microwave Albright. I've seen what I've seen with the Keyshawn fight. I've seen what I've seen with what he did to Kelvin. I'm gonna go back and look at him more, and then we seeing something different from Frank. He using this more athleticism, so I'm like, I gotta go back and look at that, and I am gonna do something on that before the fight for sure. So we got a lot of meat in the bone as far as this, and this that fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact based, not opinion based. This that raw, authentic. That we be getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes down to the boxing. We'll touch on the politics, but this is what we all about right here, man. How you want to land your plane, AC?
Man, this was a great cook, a great show. I'm glad we are spotlighting these guys and stuff like that, and we're gonna revisit one and do a real in-depth one, because we kind of bunched them. You're right, we kind of bunched them together in that whole smarts where we were talking about all three. So yeah, go back and give him his props for this fight, and then look at the Ghost Frank Martin and his returning stuff like that, and you know, hopefully we'll hear some more news about Earl. So within these housekeepings, we may just drop some updates here and there about Earl, because even on the other side, and some of the guys that we speak to from Omaha and stuff like that, I was impressed in the conversation that we had, that everybody gave Earl Spence his props. It was nothing but welcomes for Earl Spence to come back and stuff like that. And even one of the guys on the panel was like, I did not expect y'all to, especially some of y'all, to give Earl Spence the flowers that y'all gave him and stuff like that. And it's just like, at least this one sector is not trying to harp on it, and they see the relevancy and stuff like that of how boxing misses the Charlos and the Errol Spences of the world. So whether you hate them guys, whether you love them guys, whether you're fans or whatever, we know that their presence is heavily missed in boxing. So yeah, I salute those guys for at least being fair on that. And yeah, let's keep hoping that Earl comes back strong. He's focused. It's not just something to whereas he feels he needs to just because he needs to. It's something that he comes back because he really believes, and he knows he's in shape and his mind and everything is right for him to make that run. So that's where I land that plane.
All right, man. Like you said, it was a good cook, man. I appreciate all your input, man, and dropping them jewels, man. You be on that business, man. So stay on it. I'm gonna stay on it, man. We just got a couple more days, man. But we gonna link up and keep giving the pulse of boxing, man. So hope all is well on the home front, and enjoy your evening, bro.
Yeah, you too, Brody.
All right, man. Well, there you have it. Another fire show in the books. Did we cook? I hope so, man. Support the channel, man. We try to be creative, man. You see, it could be many shows in one. We try to stick to the relevant things and try to be the salt of boxing in a sense. Preserve it with what really means something. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will be out here at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro telling you belts don't matter. And then they'll support their fighter because he got the WBC, because flip-flopping, you know what I'm saying, and changing their concept. We don't do that, man. We put them all on the scale. We want to know the length, the width, the depth, the breadth, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume of them all. So we put them all on the scales and we judge them accordingly. We don't be messy. We keep it boxing while everybody else is keeping it toxic. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content. We pull up stats. We go through numbers. We analyze, man. If our fighters ain't looking right, we're going to tell you, man. We ain't playing with this boxing talk, man. We're going to continue to just smack people in the head with the truth. You know what I'm saying? My bad if you allergic. You can get used to it. You can get accustomed to it. And if you ever, want to challenge, it's always a link. If it ain't a link out there, you can always request one. We will oblige. You know what I'm saying? I'll break the mute button on my end. I won't do that to you. I'm just going to do a little bit of body work. That's all I'm going to do. Salute to Gary Antuanne Russell and the Russells, man, for getting that spotlight and being amongst them people and doing, getting to that level to where the world get to hear you. You know what I'm saying? They kind of guarding everything up, man. So to be a PBC fighter doing that thing, man, with the opportunity to be able to show up and show out in 8 days, hey, positive vibes my way, man. I salute you for continuing on your path. and carving out your own lane, you know, not depending on who's sitting in the seat, you know what I'm saying, and all that. Like, you want whoever got it, and you say you want to get your get back with Puello. I can't ask for more, especially with a high knockout ratio like that. Speaking well, representing the community good, man. I'm impressed, man. There is light at the end of the tunnel, y'all. We got a couple more days, man. I wanted to put this out here, man, and give them their salutes. You know, great interview with The Ring. Gotta give credit where it's due when y'all do what y'all do. Anyways, y'all, man, that's all I have for y'all. Support the channel, donate to the channel, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. You know, hype the videos. We are monetized. You know, you can cash app, whatever. It keep the little channels going, man. But y'all already know what it is, man. I can talk boxing all day and all night. Yikes! But hey, he reminded everybody that, hey, if you got one of them straps, you know what I'm saying, you gotta see me. You gotta see me. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body.